She was ready and excited to get a tattoo, but she never knew it was her turn to be sacrificed. Lagos Island pulsed with life, from the distant horns of yellow danfos to the bass-heavy music rumbling out of hidden rooftop lounges. Neon signs flickered across the nightlife district, painting the streets in streaks of blue and red. But among all this color and motion, one building drew more attention than anything else on the street, Inkhaven Lux. Its glass facade shimmered like a jewel under the city lights. The moment anyone walked past it, they felt the shift, the elegant sliding doors, the cool, conditioned air drifting out, the faint scent of sandalwood mixed with sterilized steel. Inkhaven Lux wasn't just a tattoo shop. It was an experience. Inside, the studio looked like a futuristic art museum. The walls were lined with digital screens displaying living tattoo designs, dragons breathing real flame, roses opening and closing like time-lapse videos, and symbols glowing softly as if alive. The floors were matte black, polished to perfection, and the ceilings held soft recessed lighting that highlighted each workstation with angelic precision. Customers lounged on plush waiting couches, rappers in designer outfits, fashion influencers adjusting their ring lights, athletes with shoulders like stone pillars, and wealthy tourists who had heard rumors about the shop's mystical artistry. But even among all the noise and chatter, one name stood above all: Master Kuro. Nobody could forget him once they saw him. He was tall, unnervingly tall, with skin so pale it looked like moonlight carved into human form. Silver streaked through his dreadlocks, catching the light every time he moved. His voice was gentle, velvet smooth, but his eyes were shadows. Deep, bottomless, as if he saw not your skin but your soul beneath it. People whispered that he could tattoo anything: pain, memories, emotions. And that once he inked you, the art never felt the same again. Some claimed their tattoos moved slightly when no one was watching. Others said they felt connected to their designs, like the ink breathed with them. But these were only rumors: beautiful, strange, mysterious, just enough to keep people coming back. Even as Kuro moved through the shop, checking on artists, adjusting designs with barely a touch, the room seemed to shift around him like shadows bent toward him or followed him. No one paid much attention to that. People only saw the reputation, the fame, the glamour that Inkhaven Lux radiated. In a city full of ambition, the studio represented perfection: art, beauty, reinvention. Everyone wanted a piece of Kuro's work. Everyone wanted to be transformed, but beneath its glowing lights and digital displays, the studio hid something dark, something ancient, woven into the very walls, stitched into every machine, lurking behind every whisper of sandalwood smoke. And tonight, that darkness would choose someone new, someone unprepared, someone named Aurora. Aurora stood outside Inkhaven Lux for a long moment, staring up at the glowing sign. The letters pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. She inhaled deeply, smoothing her braids and adjusting the strap of her bag. This was a big step, her first major tattoo, her first mark of adulthood, her first declaration of who she was becoming. She pushed through the glass door. Cool air washed over her immediately, a luxurious contrast to the Lagos heat outside. Inside, the room was alive with color and sound: soft Afrofusion music, faint buzzing from tattoo machines, and the murmur of conversations laced with excitement. Staff members in sleek black uniforms moved with practiced ease, like dancers gliding through a stage set. A receptionist with glowing brown skin and perfectly winged eyeliner smiled at her. "Welcome to Inkhaven Lux. You're Aurora, right?" Aurora blinked, surprised. "Yes. How did you? You booked the premium personal session. Master Kuro doesn't forget names." Those words alone sent a strange shiver through her. Master Kuro. The legend. The receptionist tapped a screen and motioned toward a cylindrical glass elevator. "He's waiting for you in room 12. Just take that up." As Aurora stepped inside the elevator, it began to glow faintly, transporting her upward while displaying 3D holograms of tattoos rotating around her, dragons forming from smoke, goddess figures blooming from petals, lionesses pacing across invisible ground. Every design looked alive. When the elevator stopped, the doors opened to a long hallway bathed in warm gold light. She walked slowly, her sandals clicking softly on the polished floor. The number 12 shone on a black door ahead of her. She knocked. The door slid open instantly. Inside, the private room was breathtaking: dark walls with glowing panels, shelves lined with spotless equipment, a reclining tattoo chair that looked more like a futuristic medical pod, and a digital design table floating in midair, projecting swirls of animated art. And there he was, Master Kuro. He stood with his back to her, examining a tray of inks arranged in precise gradient order. When he turned, Aurora felt her breath catch. The stories didn't do him justice. His features were sharp but elegant. His dreadlocks, streaked with silver, hung neatly against his shoulders. And his eyes, deep, dark, endless, held a focus so intense she felt pinned by his gaze. Aurora, he said softly. Her name sounded different in his voice, richer, older somehow, as though he had spoken it long before she was born. You seek strength, he continued, studying her face. Not judging, simply observing. Not just confidence, but something deeper. Real strength. Something earned. Aurora swallowed, nodding. I want a lioness, she said. Fierce. Protective.
I want a lioness.
Powerful.
Fierce,
Kuro
protective,
smiled,
powerful.
slow, controlled,
That's what I want.
thoughtful. A symbol of feminine power. A creature that commands respect. Yes. Yes, I see it. He gestured toward the floating design table. Images appeared instantly, sketches of lionesses from different angles, with eyes that glowed and fur that rippled in subtle animation. But Kuro waved them away, and the designs vanished. No, he murmured. You deserve something unique. Something that breathes. He picked up his tattoo machine. Aurora noticed something strange immediately. The machine didn't look like the sleek digital ones the other artists used. It had metallic coils intertwined with something darker, something that seemed to shimmer like smoke contained in glass. What kind of machine is that? She asked. Kuro glanced at it lovingly. A masterpiece, he whispered. Hand-forged. It draws out the truest visions of the soul. Before she could respond, he motioned for her to lie down. As long as you stay still, he said gently, the pain will be minimal. Trust me. She lay on her stomach, the cool leather soothing her skin. Kuro's fingers brushed her shoulder light, almost cold, and then the machine buzzed to life. It didn't sound like a normal tattoo gun. It vibrated with a low, humming growl, almost alive. Aurora closed her eyes as the needle touched her skin. A sharp sting ran through her, followed by a rush of heat that spread across her back like warm water. She winced, but then something else happened. For a moment, she felt like she was somewhere else, somewhere wild. She heard leaves rustling. She felt earth beneath her feet. A distant roar echoed inside her mind, then the sensation faded. Kuro worked with absolute precision, the ink flowing like liquid shadow from the machine. His movements were hypnotic, fluid, controlled. The air felt heavier, almost electric, as if the room itself was holding its breath. After what felt like both an eternity and a moment, Kuro stepped back. It is done. Aurora pushed herself up slowly. Her back tingled warm, alive. She turned toward the mirror on the wall, her breath left her body. The lioness looked real, so real she expected it to blink. Its muscles were carved in exquisite detail, its eyes glowed with subtle crimson light, and its expression held a mix of grace and ferocity that felt eerily familiar. It suits you, Kuro whispered behind her. More than you know. Aurora felt lightheaded. Not from pain. Not from fear, from power. A surge of something unknown rushed through her veins, strong, hot, electric, for the first time in her life. She felt unshakable, she didn't know it yet, but the lioness wasn't just a tattoo, it was a presence, and it had already opened its eyes. Chapter 3, The Awakening, expanded full page. That night, Lagos felt unusually still. The hum of traffic outside Adeora's hostel window was softer, muted, as if the city itself was holding its breath. She stood before her mirror, back turned, trying to admire her new tattoo under the warm yellow light. The lioness stretched across her shoulder blades, fierce and beautiful. The crimson glimmer in its eyes caught the light, making them look almost wet. Almost alive. Aurora laughed nervously at herself. It's just good artwork, she muttered. Hyper-realistic. That's all. But when she turned away, the lioness's eyes seemed to dull again, settling into ink. She shook it off. Her roommates were out for the night, giving her a rare moment of peace. She changed into something comfortable, slid into bed, and let the soft hum of her fan lull her to sleep. But as darkness settled over her, something shifted. The dream didn't come gradually, she fell straight into it like someone pushed her. She was no longer in her room, She was in a forest, tall trees towered above her, their leaves. Their leaves whispering secrets. The ground was cool beneath her bare feet, the air thick with the scent of earth and wildness. The moon hung low in the sky, red and full, bathing everything in an eerie glow. Then she heard it, a low, rumbling growl, her heartbeat quickened. A lioness stepped out from the shadows, muscles rippling, eyes glowing crimson, exactly like the tattoo on her back. It paced around her in a slow circle, tail flicking, gauging her, sizing her up. Adeora's breath hitched. "Is this you?" she whispered. The lioness stopped. Its chest rose and fell with deep, steady breaths. Then it lowered its head, almost a nod, and brushed its flank against her leg. Adeora flinched at the contact. It felt real. Too real. Before she could react further, the lioness bolted. Instinct, raw, primal, pulled Adeora after it. She ran. Fast. Faster than she had ever run in her life. Her muscles moved like they belonged to something powerful, something wild. She leaped over fallen branches, dashed through streams, tore through tall grass, and it all felt natural, effortless. She felt unstoppable. Then everything changed. The forest grew darker. The air heavier. The lioness stopped at the edge of a cliff and turned to Adeora with an expression she couldn't decipher, warning, maybe. Or hunger. The ground beneath Adeora's feet cracked. She stumbled. The world split open, and she snapped awake with a gasp. Her room was pitch black. Sweat soaked her skin. Her heart pounded like a drum. She pressed a hand to her chest, trying to steady her breath. That felt too real. She turned on her bedside lamp, and froze. Her bedsheets, perfect when she went to sleep, were torn. Not ripped by hands, but shredded. Claw marks raked across the fabric in 4 deep, parallel lines. Her pulse roared in her ears. Slowly, she turned toward her mirror. The lioness tattoo glowed faintly. Faint. But unmistakable. The eyes shimmered. The eyes shimmered with a low red light, pulsing like a heartbeat. Adeora stumbled backward. What? What are you? Her back tingled warm and alive, like something was moving beneath her skin. She could swear she felt breath on the inside of her shoulder blade. A presence, awake and stretching for the first time. A sudden knock on her door made her jump. Adeora. It was her friend, Myram. "Your light is on. You okay?" Adeora swallowed hard. She wasn't okay. Something inside her had awakened, something ancient, something hungry, and she could feel it watching her. From beneath her own skin. For the rest of the night and well into the early morning, Adeora couldn't sleep. She paced her room, hands trembling, mind racing. Every time she passed the mirror, the lioness tattoo seemed different. Sometimes its eyes glowed, sometimes its fur rippled like wind brushing through it. Other moments it lay still, pretending to be ordinary ink. Her phone kept vibrating. 2 messages from classmates, one from her mum, one from Myram again. "Are you okay? You look stressed. You went quiet last night. Call me. Please don't tell me it's tattoo regret. Guy respond now, Abeg." She typed, erased, typed again. What was she supposed to say? My tattoo is breathing. My dreams feel like memories. My bed is shredded like a wild animal slept next to me. Instead, she whispered to her reflection. What is happening to me? The lioness, silent again, offered no answer. By afternoon, Adeora dragged herself out of the hostel. She needed air. She needed clarity. She needed something, anything, to convince her she wasn't losing her mind. As she walked through the bustling Lagos streets, the heat sat heavy on her skin, and every sound felt amplified. People's chatter seemed sharper, noises clearer, even distant conversations drifting to her ears as if carried on a breeze. Her senses felt heightened, too heightened. She heard someone arguing across the street. She could smell roasted plantain and petrol from blocks away. And when a man brushed past her, she felt a jolt, like she could sense his emotions for a fleeting second. Frustration. Exhaustion. Hurry. Adeora stopped in her tracks. This is not normal. As she hurried through a busy junction, she suddenly overheard 2 girls talking loudly behind her. "I swear, I saw him yesterday morning," one said. "Tolu got tattooed by Kuro last week. Now, nobody knows where he went. Missing how?" The other girl asked. "He just vanished. His parents said his phone is off. His friends haven't seen him." It's like he disappeared. Ada Aura slowed, her heart thudded. Talou. Missing. She'd seen Talou at the studio, laughing, excited, bragging about getting a real Kuro original. Ada Aura kept walking, but the fear crawled up her spine. Could it be connected? The next day, a student group chat exploded with messages. Ahi fainted on campus. They rushed her to the clinic. She can't stop mumbling nonsense. Her tattoo was from Inkhaven. A cold, heavy dread settled in Ada Aura's chest. She had to know the truth. By evening, she stood in front of Inkhaven Lux again. This time, the glowing sign felt threatening. The automatic doors slid open with a soft hiss, and the familiar scent of sandalwood wrapped around her. But now it felt suffocating. The receptionist looked up, smiling brightly. Ada Aura, so soon. How's your piece healing? Ada Aura swallowed, her voice shaky. I need to speak to Master Kuro. The receptionist's smile dimmed slightly. He's in a session, but give me a moment. She made a call, whispered something, nodded, and motioned toward the glass elevator. He'll see you. Inside the elevator, Ada Aura's pulse thundered. As the holographic tattoos floated around her, they no longer looked like art, they looked like spirits. Ground, hungry and powerful, Ada Aura walked into Mr. Kirk's office. She saw him sitting in his office. She explained what she has been going through since she got the tattoo. Mr. Kuro smiled and said it's called the awakening. Only a few hosts survive the awakening. Most are consumed. Her blood turned to ice. What about the missing people? She whispered. Kuro didn't turn around. They were not strong enough. Ada Aura's heart twisted painfully. And me? She whispered. Kuro finally looked back, eyes dark and endless. You might be the strongest yet. The lioness in her tattoo pulsed. Once, twice, hungry. Ada Aura realized the truth. This wasn't art. This wasn't magic. This was possession. And it was only the beginning. Ada Aura didn't remember leaving Inkhaven Lux. One moment she was staring into Master Kuro's cold, calculating eyes. The next, she was outside in the street with the sky turning purple above Lagos. Cars honked, sellers called out, generators hummed, but everything felt far away. Muffled. Distant, her heartbeat drowned out the world. Spirit. Kuro said it was a spirit, inside me. The lioness tattoo throbbed in slow, steady pulses, as if matching her fear with its own rhythm. By the time she reached her hostel room, her legs felt weak. She locked the door, shut the windows, closed the curtains, desperate to be alone, desperate to breathe. Her back tingled violently. Like something alive was shifting under the skin. No, she whispered, pressing a hand against her tattoo. Stop. Stay down. Stay quiet. But the lioness growled. She felt it, not through ears, but through her bones. A vibration deep within her spine, a warning rumble. Her breath hitched. Please, she whispered, trembling. I don't want to hurt anyone. Then she collapsed. Her knees hit the ground. A white-hot flash burned behind her eyes. The room spun, blurred, melted into shadow. She clutched her head, choking on the rising power, and felt hot breath brush her neck. Her body froze. Fear shot through her like lightning. But then, a memory, her mother's voice, firm but warm. Courage is not the absence of fear, Ada. It is standing your ground, even when your whole body is shaking. Ada Aura forced herself to stand. The lioness roared earth-shaking, wild, ancient. Ada Aura stepped forward. I am not prey, she whispered. Not anymore. She reached out. Her hand trembled violently as it moved toward the lioness. Every instinct screamed run, hide, protect yourself. But something deeper, something strong, pushed her forward. The lioness snarled. Ada Aura didn't flinch. Her fingertips brushed the lioness's forehead. A shockwave burst between them, gold light exploding, shadows twisting, wind tearing leaves from the trees. Ada Aura gasped, but she didn't pull back. She pressed her hand firmer, refusing to let fear win. The lioness stopped, brows lowered. Muscles tensed. Breath uneven. Then, slowly, so slowly, it lowered its head, a bow, not of submission, but of recognition. Ada Aura's eyes widened with emotion, fear, relief, power all mixing inside her. Warmth flooded through her chest, spreading down her arms, into her fingers, through her legs. The bond between them shifted, no longer hostile, no longer predatory, equal, shared, balanced. The lioness closed its eyes, when it opened them again. The glow was softer, still fierce, still powerful, but no longer hungry. Ada Aura pressed her forehead to the lioness's. A silent pact, an agreement forged in spirit. "We fight together," she whispered. The forest faded. Light swallowed everything. When Ada Aura opened her eyes, she was back in her room, sweating, gasping, trembling, but no longer afraid. Her tattoo pulsed once, warm and gentle. Like a purr, she touched it lightly. "We're not his anymore." The lioness didn't answer in words, but Ada Aura felt its agreement deep in her SP. For the first time since the awakening began, she could breathe, but she also knew one more thing: Kuro would never allow this bond, not one he couldn't control, and he would come for her, unless she went for him first. The night after Ada Aura's spiritual battle was darker than usual, too dark. Even the streetlights outside her hostel flickered with an anxious pulse, as if the city sensed the storm that was coming. Ada Aura sat on her bed, fully awake, fully alert, fully changed. Her senses were razor-sharp. The world felt bigger, louder, clearer. She could hear footsteps outside her window, distant but precise. She could smell the faint metallic scent of approaching rain. Her skin tingled whenever danger brushed close, even if she couldn't see it. The lioness spirit inside her was quiet, watchful. Something is coming. Ada Aura didn't need the spirit to tell her that. She felt it. Her phone buzzed suddenly, the vibration sharp and jarring in the silent room. A message. Unknown number. A single line: "He knows. Get out." Ada Aura's stomach dropped. Before she could react, 3 loud knocks pounded on her door, slow, heavy, deliberate. Her blood went cold. Ada Aura. A deep male voice. Calm. Controlled. But too controlled, like someone masking their true nature. "Open the door. We're here to help." The lioness growled inside her mind, low and warning. Ada Aura backed away slowly. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears. The door handle rattled. "Ada Aura," the voice repeated, "Master Kuro is worried about you. The tattoo may be reacting unusually. Let us examine it." She froze. Kuro sent them. These weren't ordinary workers. These were his hunters, the ones rumored to perform aftercare checks on clients who vanished or resisted. People whispered about them in Lagos nightlife: men with dead eyes, women who moved like shadows, all loyal to Kuro, all sworn to retrieve his marked souls. Another voice joined the first, female, sharp, unsettlingly sweet. "Ada Aura, you're in danger. The spirit inside you is unstable. You could hurt innocent people." A pause. "You need us." Ada Aura's chest tightened, her hands balled into fists. The lioness inside her snarled, louder this time. Then everything happened at once. A powerful kick slammed into her door, the wood cracked, hinges straining. Ada Aura gasped and stumbled backward. Another kick. This time the door bent inward, splinters raining onto the floor. She didn't think. Her instincts surged, raw, primal, unstoppable. Run. She grabbed her bag, phone, and slid her window open. 3 stories up, but the alley below had a narrow ledge. One more kick, the door burst open with a violent crash. 2 figures rushed inside, dressed in sleek black tactical clothing with dark gloves and faint silver sigils stitched onto their sleeves. Kuro's mark. Ada Aura, stop. She didn't stop. With a deep breath, she vaulted through the window. Her foot hit the ledge, she almost slipped, but strength coursed through her legs, steadying her. She leaped. She landed in a crouch beside a dumpster, shock rattling her bones, but no pain. The lioness purred approvingly. She didn't wait, she sprinted. Her feet hit the ground with supernatural precision. Her lungs burned with speed but didn't slow. Her muscles moved like they remembered 1,000 hunts. Shouts echoed above her. She jumped. "Go down. Go now. Don't lose her." Ada Aura dashed into the darkness of Lagos's backstreets, narrow alleys, shadows stretching like claws, noise blurring into a frantic hum around her. Her senses sharpened further. She could feel them chasing her. 3 behind, 1 on the rooftops, matching her movement, tracking her from above. They moved with eerie synchronicity, too smooth, too silent, too trained. They're not normal humans, she realized. Neither was she. Ada Aura skidded around a corner and burst into a more open street. Bright lights from booker stalls, people laughing, cars honking, a slice of normal life. She blended into the crowd, hoodie up, head down, her breath steadied. For a moment she felt safe, until she smelled it. Cologne, expensive, sharp, familiar. Her blood ran cold. Someone stepped up beside her. A man, slim, tall, with a shaved head and a calm, polite smile. He carried a leather satchel, looking like an average Lagos financier on his way home. But his eyes, dark, steady, emotionless, were unmistakable. He whispered, "Miss Adaora. Master Kuro would like his spirit back." Adaora inhaled sharply, and the lioness roared to life inside her. The streetlights flickered, the ground trembled beneath her feet. Power surged up her spine, fiery, electric, primal. Before the man could react, Adaora moved faster than she ever had, vanishing into the chaos of the city. The chase had begun, and Kuro would not stop until she was captured, or dead. Adaora didn't stop running until the night around her changed. The crowds thinned, the city noise faded, the bright stalls and streetlights gave way to abandoned structures and half-finished buildings, places where people rarely lingered after dark. Her breath formed sharp clouds in the cool night air, her heart pounded like a drum. The lioness spirit paced inside her chest. Restless, alert. They're still coming. Adaora didn't need the warning. She could sense the hunters closing in their footsteps, their breathing, the cold focus in their movements. They navigated the terrain with predator sharpness, cutting off escape routes, strategies tightening like a snare. She reached a dead end. A long, empty construction yard stretched before her, dark, silent, littered with steel rods and broken wooden planks. "Perfect," she whispered bitterly. Behind her, gravel crunched. Adaora turned. 3 hunters stepped out of the shadows, 2 men, 1 woman. All dressed in the same sleek black tactical gear with silver sigils on their sleeves. But they weren't alone. A 4th figure dropped from the rooftop behind her without a sound. Adaora flinched. He landed like a cat, tall, lean, a mask covering his face, elastic gloves glowing faintly with dark red light. They fanned out, surrounding her. "Adaora," the woman said calmly, "you don't know how strong that spirit is. You can't handle it. Let us help before it consumes you." Adaora clenched her fists, breath tight. The woman stepped closer. "Just come quietly. No one has to get who." A low, rumbling growl escaped Adaora's throat. Her eyes widened. "That came from me." The hunters froze. The lioness spirit surged, heat rushing through Adaora's veins, her heartbeat sinking with something deeper, older, wilder. Her muscles tightened, breath heavy, her senses sharpening into stabbing clarity. "I'm not going anywhere with you," she said, voice shaking, but not with fear, with rage. The female hunter sighed. "Then we do this the hard way." She reached for a small syringe clipped to her belt. The moment metal glinted, the lioness struck. Adaora moved before she could think. She lunged, fast. Faster than human, her elbow collided with the woman's jaw, a sharp crack. The hunter spun, crashing into a heap of steel rods with a pained grunt. The male hunters reacted instantly. One rushed forward. Adaora ducked, felt the rush of air as his fist missed her face. Her knee shot upward, slamming into his ribs. He stumbled back, shocked by her speed. The second man circled, swift and silent. He swung, Adaora blocked. But the impact sent a jolt up her arm. He was stronger than she expected. Enhanced. Altered. Trained. Kuro's best. He swung again. She dodged, barely, rolling across the dirt and popping up in a crouch, panting. The masked hunter finally moved. He didn't rush. He approached her slowly, deliberately. Like he already knew how this would end. His voice, muffled by the mask, "You're not controlling the spirit. It's controlling you." Adaora glared. "You don't know anything about me." He tilted his head. "I know you're scared." "That's where you're wrong," she whispered. Her tattoo burned, a golden fire, spreading down her spine, across her shoulders, into her limbs. Her vision sharpened, her veins pulsed with raw energy. The lioness roared inside her. Adaora stood tall. The masked hunter lunged, faster than the others, but this time, Adaora didn't dodge. She met him head-on. Her fist collided with his chest. A shockwave exploded, dust swirling, metal rattling, the earth trembling beneath her feet. The masked hunter flew backward, crashing into a stack of cement blocks. The other hunters froze. Adaora looked at her hands, glowing faint gold, vibrating with power. She felt unstoppable, alive, awake. The lioness inside her spoke, not in words, but in instinct. Fight, win, survive. Adaora lifted her chin. "Tell Kuro," she said, voice low and fierce, "if he wants me, he'll have to face me himself." The hunters hesitated, wounded, stunned, uncertain. Aurora didn't wait. She turned and sprinted into the night, disappearing before they could gather themselves. Behind her, the masked hunter struggled to rise, breathing uneven. He pulled off his mask, revealing eyes that glowed faintly red. "She's stronger than we thought," he whispered. The wind carried his next words into the darkness. "Kuro must be told immediately." Kuro felt the disturbance before his hunters even returned. Inside the ritual chamber beneath Inkhaven Lux, candles flickered violently, reacting to the shift in the spirit world. The tattoo needles on his sacred altar rattled softly. The air grew heavy with the scent of burning ink and blood. Kuro's eyes opened. "So," he murmured, "she has accepted the lioness." His voice was calm, but the veins in his neck pulsed with controlled fury. The door to the chamber burst open. His hunters stumbled in, battered, bruised, shaken. The masked one bowed deeply, still panting. "She's stronger than we calculated," he said. "The spirit has bonded with her, fully." Kuro rose from his throne-like tattoo chair. His long black coat shifted like living smoke. "That spirit belongs to Emmy," he hissed. He extended his palm. A swirling mass of ink rose from the altar, alive, writhing, taking the shape of a horned beast. It clung to his arm like a serpent. "Prepare the gate," Kuro commanded. "Tonight, I reclaim what is mine." Aurora stood at the edge of the ocean. Bar Beach stretched before her, waves crashing like war drums, the moon casting a silver path across the water. The wind whipped through her hair as she stared at her reflection in the dark waves. She felt the lioness inside her, calm, protective, ready. "You've brought me here for a reason," Aurora whispered. The lioness spoke in her mind, its voice soft but powerful. Where it began, it must end. A sudden crack split the air behind her. The ground trembled. Kuro emerged from the shadows of a collapsed pier, his coat swirling, his eyes glowing black. Behind him, hunters fanned out in a semicircle, forming a dark wall. "Aurora," he said smoothly, as if greeting an old friend, "you have something that belongs to me." Aurora turned slowly. "No," she said. "I have something that belongs to itself." Kuro's smile hardened. "You think you're special? You think the spirit chose you? Foolish girl. It bonded to you because you were weak." Adeora's anger flared, but the lioness kept her steady, grounded. "You marked people to trap spirits," she said. "And you fed off them. You destroyed lives." Kuro shrugged elegantly. "All power wreck with sacrifice." His hunters stepped forward. Aurora raised her chin. "I'm not afraid of you anymore." Kuro's eyes darkened, then die with pride. He raised his arm. The ink serpent lunged from his skin, transforming mid-air into a monstrous, shadowy beast with jagged teeth and glowing veins. It roared, an unholy sound that shook the sand beneath her feet. Aurora braced, and the lioness spirit exploded from her back in a burst of golden light. It materialized beside her, full-sized, majestic, eyes blazing like suns. Its roar battled the beasts, the clash of their forces creating a shockwave that sent sand billowing. Kuro snarled. "Attack!" The hunters charged. The beast lunged, the lioness pounced, and the world became chaos. Aurora fought like she'd trained her entire life, dodging blows, blocking strikes, flipping through the air with supernatural grace. Every move was guided by the spirit inside her, their minds and bodies synced. One hunter rushed her with a blade drawn. Aurora caught his wrist, twisted, he dropped screaming. Another aimed a tranquilizing dart. Aurora slapped it aside and kicked him back into the waves, but Kuro was the real storm. He moved like darkness itself, fast, fluid, deadly. His ink beast fought the lioness in the air, claws clashing, sparks flying like fireworks. "You cannot win," Kuro hissed as he advanced on her. "I created your power." Aurora stumbled backward, breath trembling. Kuro raised his hand to strike, but the lioness roared, slamming into him and knocking him off balance. Aurora didn't hesitate. She sprinted forward, leaped, and pressed her glowing palm to her tattoo, activating the bond's true power. Golden light shot from her hand straight into Kuro's chest. He screamed, a roar, agonizing sound, as the spirit energy tore through him, ripping the parasite ink beast from his body. The beast shrieked, then dissolved into nothing. Kuro collapsed to his knees, gasping, his tattoos burning away like ash in the wind. You ruined everything," he whispered. Aurora stepped closer. chest rising and falling. "No," she said softly, "you tried to own what was never yours." Kuro's body dissolved into black dust, scattered into the wind. Silence settled. The lioness spirit, glowing, powerful, turned to Adaora. It bowed its head, its form shimmered, broke into warm, golden particles, and flowed back into the tattoo on her back. The ocean calmed. Adaora exhaled a shaky breath. It was over. 1 year later, Inkhaven Lux reopened. But under new ownership, Adaora stepped into the state-of-the-art studio. Now bright, safe, and filled with true artists. A sign on the wall read, "Where ink tells truth." She wore a simple jacket, her tattoo glowing faintly beneath it, no longer a curse, a gift, a guardian. Clients greeted her warmly. "Good morning, Adaora." She smiled. Just before entering her new office, the lioness spirit purred softly in her mind, content, proud. And Adaora whispered back, "We survived, together."